Yeah, it's really good to build it.
All right, Article 1. Hear the reports of the village officers and to act thereon. So the electric company, I have a full report in the center of the book. But essentially the electric company had a pretty good 2023, a little bit of changes. We had a DV fiber project. They were had to get the poles ready to have DV fiber on them. Fiber weighs quite a bit. So it actually is taxing on the poles. So there were several poles we had to upgrade and things like that. So we did that project. We had a little bit of shifting in our people within the office, including me. I'm new as of March this year. So we did expand our line crew. We had one person who kind of was doing our line crew. We now have 3 part-time guys that are working on our lines that are fantastic. They're very experienced journeymen. 2 of them have retired at this point, and so they're available at our whim, which is amazing. But at the same time, they're able to spend time with their family and do their things for retirement, which has been great. And they love it. We love it. It's a great setup. As I said, I started this March, and I'm happy to be here and helping where I can. I do live within the village, just right down the road. So I am, around if there's any questions. I am here full time. We are open now 5 days a week. The doors open from 9 till 4 every day except Friday. We're open till noon. But definitely I'm around usually by 7:30 and most times till 5 o'clock at night. So if you see me or my truck there, definitely feel free. And obviously if there's an outage, I am around for those calls as well. Financially, 2023 audit is not complete. So I do want to kind of notate that these financials are just tentative until the audit is complete. And that, that audit will be available probably next week, to be honest with you. It will be completed. It's just they did not get it in time for today. So we published the numbers that we do have, but those are subject to change as they kind of move things around in the audit to make sure it's aligned correctly. 2023 was kind of an eye-opening year financially for the electric company in the sense that we, did run into, the inflation costs that everyone is seeing being somewhat difficult for us. Transformer costs have nearly doubled since about 4 years ago, making costs skyrocket, and that has been something that's definitely being seen in the electric company. We have not done a rate increase since 2006. Think about the economics of 2006 versus now. So we're likely looking at a rate increase, rate case coming in this year. To give some perspective, Green Mountain has 26 cents a kilowatt hour cost. Our 175 kilowatt hours or less is 7 cents a kilowatt hour. And anything above 175 kilowatt usage is 18 cents. So we're still substantially less than Green Mountain, even with whatever rate increase we go in. They are also doing a rate increase this year. Just in general, the Public Utility Commission does want us to do rate increases, smaller amounts more often, rather than big amounts less often. So that's kind of likely the direction we're headed from the power company perspective, but as you've probably seen with Green Mountain, it's not great for customers, but that's where they want us to be. So that's likely the kind of the direction we're headed. I'm looking forward to being here and continuing to serve you guys. And I'll turn it back over to Tyler, unless anyone has any questions. Thanks. All right. We have to approve those or? No.
Okay, so Article 2, to elect the village officers as required by law. There is
Sorry, I asked
I
how
don't
this has been
remember.
traditionally done.
I don't remember, but Bud did have a way 2 years ago that took me off guard and I was surprised about it. And I think it was on paper, it was Maryland ballot and I read. Or, yeah. it was on paper. But
I'm gonna rip up some paper just in case. Yeah, if you can start kind of going through, well,
all right. The open seats to be elected are trustee for a 5-year term. Clerk for a 1-year term, and the clerk's term are those 1 year on the by the trustees, all right?
no, just the
The
president.
only one that
President.
would be the president is
Yeah.
appointed by the 5 trustees at the next meet, at our meeting to follow this one.
Gotcha. Clerk for 1-year term, treasurer for 1-year term, and president of the board of trustees for 1 year.
So I guess we see if anybody's interested.
Someone want to nominate themselves?
What are the requirements for trustee? I mean, as far as what are the expectations throughout the years?
Show up to the monthly meetings, look over expense reports, sign off on payments or
payroll
yeah,
and
payable
invoices,
invoices.
and we hear reports from James, annually and,
Roughly.
monthly and issues as they arise. So there may be, we've had to deal with hiring, we've had to deal with, we will be signing off on budget, approving a budget, looking at, costs for line cutting, tree trimming, line repairs,
Great case.
the rate case, we might have issues with our, we might look into, our ordinance changes,
Charter.
the charter, sorry.
No?
Sorry, I always get those two mixed up. The charter change, which it needs to go through a legislative process. And the usual fun stuff.
Yeah.
No surprises as far as this
Well,
events or, I mean, no, I understand the running of business. There's other any events or things that you have that,
it's not really like the library where they would have like plant swap or
no, I
book
don't,
sale
yeah.
days
I
and
understand there's nothing.
nothing out of the
Just
ordinary.
Monthly meetings and just approving contracts or negotiating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Reviewing.
I mean, I've come in from time to time and not recently, to help out. When Pam was here, and she needed to go on vacation, she was the only one in the office, so I came in and did some work. But that wasn't expected.
Yeah.
Occasionally we'll have a special meeting.
Yep.
But
When are your meetings, monthly meetings?
That will be determined in the next meeting as part of our reorg. But usually, like traditionally have been Tuesdays at 6 o'clock, second Tuesday of the month. But that could change depending on what works for everybody.
I saw your hand go up.
Yeah, James approached me last week and asked if I would consider serving as a trustee, so that's why I'm here.
All right,
Oh.
great.
I nominate John Doty.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Anyone else interested?
I make a motion on nomination C's.
All right. Someone second that,
second.
all in favor?
I
Aye. All right,
I make a motion that the clerk cast one ballot for John Doty as trustee.
That for the 5-year term or?
Pardon?
that's
Is that for the
yes.
5-year term?
Up to 5 years. Yeah.
Someone second the motion,
I second.
all in favor of casting
I
aye?
Aye.
All right, the motion's been passed.
Congratulations, Mr. Doty. Just so you know, I always call him Mr. Doty.
Yeah. Yep.
So now we have to vote on a clerk.
sorry.
Question, does the clerk need to be a trustee?
Not according to our bylaws. They do have to attend the meetings.
Does anyone in the audience have a burning desire to write the minutes, keep track of the minutes with the assistance of James? Attend every meeting.
You sure? Are you willing to do it again? Is that what I'm hearing?
We could roll reverse.
I'm doing a bad job right now. I'm still trying to catch up here.
Sorry. We're moving right along here.
That's fine.
It is being recorded, so you can watch it all over again if you want.
All right. So is that my understanding that Jen's going to,
Nobody else?
We need a vote. We need to close the.
I make a motion to elect Jennifer Bennell for clerk for the coming year.
someone second that?
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
is there any further nomination?
congratulations. What?
Is there any?
No, that was.
No, that was it.
That was it, okay.
Now the
President,
treasurer.
the president is elected after the meeting by the 5 trustees. Is not voted on right today. Tonight, he'll be voted on in after this, we close this meeting and then open our regular meeting. Right after this meeting. And the 5 trustees vote in the president. They took that, they put that into effect about 20 years ago. They don't elect the president right now. It says here, but they don't. It's taken care of by the,
It's a private matter.
of that.
It's a private matter.
Yeah, it's a president of the board versus a president of the electric company. That's what.
Someone interested in being treasurer? That one's,
Does anyone want a description of the treasurer's duties? Does anyone care what?
Huh?
I have to be a trustee, so.
Yeah, it has to be a trustee.
that one
too.
does have to,
Yeah.
okay.
That one has to be a trustee and it's voted in at the following meeting. A meeting coming up after we close this meeting off. They voted that about 20 years ago. Seems they was trying to get some politics in here somewhere. Be honest with you.
All right, well, that case. Article 3, see what action the village will take in regard to funds and maintain the light system and equipment.
So I assume this is just a motion to continue, correct? Or is there no action needed unless there's changes? I haven't been to one of these meetings in a very long time.
It's been
A
whole
year? Like a whole year?
And it wasn't taped. And I think Pam might have had a cheat sheet for us.
Oh, that's what I'm missing.
You make a motion, you make a motion. Bud, do you remember if we just, do you remember what we do with this one?
Article 3,
Yeah,
Correct. Kenny, do you remember?
I guess it's just a motion.
Where's
I think I'd like to make a motion
We need
that
to approve those.
the village authorizes
Those are 2019.
trustees, president, in regard to the fund to maintain the light system and equipment, something like that.
So does someone second the motion to all in favor? Aye.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, the motion to maintain the funds and the light system and equipment has been passed. Article 4. See if the village will authorize its trustees and president to borrow money on its notes in anticipation of revenues.
I make a motion, the village authorizes trustees and president to borrow money on its notes in anticipation of revenues.
Will someone,
Things that we should be voting?
Yeah, this is all town, village voters.
someone second?
This is all operating on revenue. There's no taxes involved in it. We pay a lot on the other end, but there's
Gotcha,
nothing
yeah.
as far as the taxes yet on the village side. It's very paying.
There no borrowing money for what and for what, how much and what period of time?
So,
Or is it in general?
So this would be authorizing for us to be able to borrow money if needed, in anticipation of revenues that are.
We're giving you permission to act on our behalf.
Correct. So there is no set
Nothing pressing,
amount or anything like that. It's just in general. If we know there's gonna be this revenue coming next month and we need to borrow it for this month. We do this with the town of Whitingham as well, gets an approval to be able to take a note out in case needed. Formality.
Okay. What was the specific issue?
and Ken, you seconded that motion?
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's been authorized to let trustees and president borrow money on its notes in anticipation of revenues. Article 5, to transact any further business to come before said meeting.
Who's right after us?
Does anyone have anything else?
I just want to say thank you very much, James, for the open house. That was very interesting.
You're welcome. I'm glad you guys were able to come. I really do appreciate it. And
No.
No other business?
Gratitude.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I was just gonna say, I wanted to thank someone, whoever took care of getting the sidewalks cleaned off between my house and the library. I did it last year and then I did it this year, but then we had a big rainstorm and it kind of put everything back. And about a few days later, I'm walking to work and I was like, wow, they did the sidewalk. So I want to say thank you to whoever initiated that.
yeah, this whole group. So
Thank you.
definitely appreciate the board on that.
Have my little wheelie bag, and if I wear open heel shoes, I end up with rocks in them, so, yeah. But noticed.
Sure.
Also, did I just see something in my last 1 or 2 electric bills about there was an increase already?
No,
No? I didn't read it.
we haven't put anything in yet.
It's anticipated.
Okay,
We do, I don't think we put anything in the bills though, did we?
anyway, I was just curious.
Thought there was a note about.
Oh, the
green-
rate schedule, was it the rate schedule?
Yeah.
Document, yeah, so that, that's an outline, so there are no increases yet. That rate schedule is, what we have been approved to charge as an electric company for different things. So essentially everything we do has to go in front of the Public Utility Commission, for approval. So those all have been approved. A lot of them we hadn't been charging during COVID. Because the state of Vermont actually prevented us from doing it for a while, then they started allowing us to charge for it again. But my understanding was, before I was here, is the trustees at the time didn't want to do that once we were allowed to. And so we got approval to start doing that. And really what it came down to is a lot of people were late on their bills and there was no interest being charged to those late bills. And so we were kind of becoming a free bank to a lot of people and making it so it was difficult for us to pay our own bills. So that's why we wanted to publish that, make sure everyone was aware of what was out there and what we were going to charge for before we actually started charging for it. And obviously, if there's a change, we will definitely be very clear. It takes about 6 to 8 months for a rate increase to go into effect, so you'll be very aware of what's happening and changes if there are any.
Yeah, I don't pay a lot of attention when I get those, because there's really nothing you can do, so you're like, okay, yeah. You know, so like, yeah, exactly, so that's why I didn't realize that it was an anticipated thing. I
And
just remember seeing something about rates come through.
If you do have any questions, definitely come let us know. As I said, I'm here 5 days a week. Wednesdays are the best days because we have all 3 of us in the office. So it's a very popular day for everyone coming.
I think that what James is doing is trying to let the town know we exist. And we're not just a bill every month. And that we're here for the town. You are part of the village. And that's not something that everyone is aware of. As you questioned just now, are we supposed to be voting? So knowing that you're part of the village and that the village it cares for oversees the electric system, the power company, you're probably going to see more about us, and then you're going to question more about us. And as James expressed already, he's here to answer any questions. And if there are things that are concerning you, like the sidewalks really need to be tended to, you know, I want to see this in my bill. I want to learn more about Efficiency Vermont. Whatever, you know, let us know. And that's what we're here for. And I think we're going to have more of an ability to answer your questions. Yeah.
And if you're ever wondering, if you ever want to come to a trustee meeting, they are public meetings. They will be recorded. We will keep them for at least 1 month. Haven't told the board of trustees, but there is a Facebook page that was created 2 days ago that will also be sharing information. We do have a website we're hoping to get at some point, but the Facebook page was more immediate and allows me to get information out there, particularly around outages and things like that. So that's something I'll bring up in our next meeting. But there's also our trustee meetings, the monthly meetings are posted outside my office on the outside window. So if you're ever, I need to go to the next meeting and I don't know when it is, just go look. It's every single one of them for the year is listed right outside my office. So you can see them anytime, even if we're closed.
I just like to suggest Front Porch Forum as a method for getting news out, because some people aren't on Facebook.
Yes.
I will definitely look into it. I've used it a few times. I think
I have it as, yeah, I'm still a Wyndham Regional Commission rep for Whitingham, and I have that as my title for a government title for using Front Porch Forum, and Gig also has that. And it's used it for,
Yes.
I use it a lot.
yeah. Thank you. That's great. Those are kind of things we need to hear.
All right,
My motion to adjourn.
someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
Ask one more question.
Yep.
And I don't know whether it needs to be on the record or not. What legal entities, because see the Village of Jacksonville Electric Company and Jacksonville Electric Company, 2 line items on the budget or treasurer's report? Are
Correct.
they just 2 separate legal entities? What are they?
So they are probably just listed different in our accounting system. If I were to check. We do pay 2 bills. We have 2 meters.
Okay.
So that's what you're seeing. We have one for the garage, one for here. We actually pay our own electric bill
Well,
so that
yeah.
it records correctly. And so that this is just a list of every vendor we've paid in the last year. So that's what's that you're seeing. Yeah, I saw it too, and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, that's why I was like, okay, what are all the legal entities?
Right.
So we know which one does what.
So yeah, so you just elected a board of trustees for the Village of Jacksonville.
Right.
They, by charter, have the right to maintain an electric company, which is what we do. But then there's also the ability to have a fire department, a police department. I mean, there's a list of everything you're authorized to do. You can do lots of different things, including tax. I mean, we could set a tax rate and tax the Village of Jacksonville and anyone within those limits. Obviously, we don't do that. The only thing we do currently is have an electric company. And so that there are 2 different entities, but the electric company operates under the authority of the Village of Jacksonville as a municipality.
And so the Village of Jacksonville is the municipality and the Jacksonville Electric is.
Correct. And it is
I just have to know.
very confusing to everyone I talk to, so.
It was only confusing last year when I wanted to do the sidewalks. I'm like, oh, you have to bring on the electric company. I'm like, huh?
So the sidewalks are even more funny because the sidewalks are actually, for the most part, Kenny and Bud, correct me if I'm wrong, most of them, if not all of them, were built by individuals that own the property.
Yeah.
And so there really isn't any clear definition of who owns them, whether it's the village or the town of Whitingham or individual property owners. So we kind of, as a courtesy, clean the sidewalks.
Sidewalks too, you know, and I weed whack them and.
Right.
To maintain it, it's, you know.
Right.
I'm right on the main road.
Right.
You know, to do it.
And it's funny because within the town of Whitingham, there are sidewalks in the Village of Jacksonville. And then there are there's one sidewalk in the Village of Whitingham, but that is definitely owned by the property owner. So there's really just no clear definition of who owns the sidewalks at this point, so.
Yeah, I'm just still in the learning phase.
Right?
I'm only 3.5 years into Vermont.
Right? I'm sure in the next 50 to 60 years, you still won't understand.
That somebody else will want to know this too.
Right?
For sure.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn and then we can.
Someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Someone second that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Alright, the meeting's been adjourned at 6:32.
Thank you all so much.
Thank